So this is Forester Pass. That is where we gotta go. That's how we gotta get there. That's where we came from. Should be fun. Oh,
dude, that's like where you hit your ass. Is like
right there. Hey, hey, it is June 3rd, my mom's birthday, and I just got off the highest point of the PCT. Oh, I feel like a lot's happened in a short amount of time, but quick. Right back there is Forester Pass. So there's a peak to the left. And then on the other side of that, there's a whole ridge that runs all the way along, and you can just barely make out the footpath coming down there. And then we glissaded, just slid down on our butts down most of that hill right there, which was pretty great. The views cannot be beat. We're pretty much done with our up for today, which feels good. And by pretty much, I really mean pretty much. When we got on the other side of Forester Pass, I took a look. We had 7.2 miles to go, 3,300 feet down, and 13 feet up. So yeah, pretty much downhill from here is a safe thing to say. First, if I post hole a little bit and things get a little bumpy, don't worry about it. There's no bad runouts. So if I fall, we'll be okay. We'll get back up and keep going. But yeah, so a lot has happened. Summited Whitney yesterday. That was phenomenal. Got a couple quick videos up there, but it was really fantastic. Honestly, the views up there were great, but the views walking up were probably almost even better. There were just like straight rock walls, like similar to how that is, but just all the way around in this bowl of a valley that was Guitar Lake, which is where we slept the night before, which was really cool too. So really fun experience. Got to camp. Actually, honestly, about the most fun thing that happened yesterday, which is crazy because I was on the, the highest mountain in 49 out of the 50 states in America. Only Alaska has ones higher. And I think what I enjoyed most about yesterday, me, Beachton River, we're kind of taking it easy and going together. And in the afternoon, once we got back on the PCT, because the Mount Whitney, that's a side trail. Once we got back on from there, it was only like 4 miles or so, but we did hike together, which is fun. We do a bit, but not a lot. But we just had a lot of fun bullshitting, hanging out, and we had a couple of creek crossings. And before the first one, the snow was really slushy, and we were able to pretty much just ski on our feet. I even had my crampons on, but the conditions were just right. We were just sliding down there. Got a video at the very end of both Beachton River coming down, but that was a blast. Like, it was way more fun than it should have been. There's a post hole for you. If you look here, there's a lot of post holing going on, so we'll see. Looks like somebody found some better snow up top here. I'm gonna give that a go. But yeah, so good stuff. Jess, or Roadrunner, has been still struggling a bit. She's a little bit slower than us. Part of it's pack weight, and I think she's a little more cautious in the snow. I don't know. She's definitely going faster in the first couple days with the crampons, but also I think she kind of just got exhausted from those first 2 days and have never really caught up, because a 15-mile day in the snow is a full freaking day. You know, we were talking about it last night at camp, and at first I was thinking that 15 was going to be the new 20, because before this we were kind of doing a minimum of 20 for a full day, up to 25. Anything above 25 we considered a big day. Well, I think here in the Sierras, like the first couple of days were a little confusing because we did 19 and 17, but we weren't continuously on snow there. When you're continuously on snow, I'm happy to get 15 done in a day, because it's just slow work. You know, this right here isn't the best example. We're going downhill, so if I slide, you know, gravity works with me and we just go a little bit further in the right direction. If I post hole, I don't have to dig myself out too much, because, you know, the hill's sloping in the direction I'm traveling. But going uphill on that kind of stuff is pretty treacherous. You know, very, very exhausting. So trying to look at the day, plan your trip accordingly, make sure you're getting any major inclines done while it's early and the snow's still in good condition, that kind of thing. But just got into camp kind of late last night and said that hasn't made a final decision, but she's leaning towards when we get off trail in Bishop, flipping. She's not sure where, but she's not having fun out here, or at least not having enough fun to make up for the misery. And honestly, I wasn't surprised to hear her say that. She's been struggling a bit. We're going to talk in Bishop. She's going to get a good night or two's rest on an actual bed, not sleeping in the Sierras at high altitude and being cold, and then make a final decision from there. But whatever she does, you know, I support it. It'll be sad. She's kind of been, you know, the mother hen, the glue of the group, kind of keeping everything together, planning, and she just kind of has that natural personality. So seeing her go would be really sad. River, we kind of already knew, is on a limited timeline. He's meeting his girlfriend in Lake Tahoe, which is just on the north side of the Sierras. And I think she's coming up on June 17th. So that's not a lot of time to get all the way done with the Sierras. So we'll see what happens. But I'm still of the mind frame that if it's safe, I want to go through the Sierras. You know, I'm out here, I feel honestly like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And, you know, that could change. If there's anything dangerous, that's going to change. You know, I don't want to do something that's genuinely, you know, life-threatening and not safe to do. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. If it's just a matter of putting up with some misery, there are different levels. But in my mind, I think I'm probably just about okay to put up with as much misery as I can imagine, as long as it's safe to get through this. I say that now when I'm warm and toasty. So we'll see if that tune changes. But I think that's about all I got. This has already been a long one. Not 100% sure what the plan is once we get to Bishop, but we will be getting off Kearsarge Pass tomorrow and going straight up to Bishop, where we'll be staying for at least a night, probably a couple, and take a look and see what makes sense. There's a bridge outage at about 12 miles north of where we're getting off at Kearsarge, so we'll have to see what the reroute looks like for that, as well as there are a couple other bridges that are damaged or out entirely, and some talk of a water crossing in the northern section of the Sierras that is just completely impassable right now. So, you know, conditions are changing every day, and we'll see, and just take it day by day. That's all you can really do. You know, take it one day at a time, take it one resupply at a time. You know, formulate a good plan, make sure you have enough food, enough gear, everything you need, and head on out. Speaking of having everything you need, I left my trowel, so in case you don't know, normal protocol out here when you gotta do the big job, as my dad would say, or take a toozy, you dig a hole and bury it, and that's hard to do when you lose your trowel, which is what happened to me. Not this morning, but yesterday morning. I took a toozy before, that was 2 days ago, because it wasn't at Guitar Lake. Anyways, I had a morning movement and left my trowel at camp. So I've been borrowing others when I need to. I'll be really happy to be able to facilitate without asking for permission first. So that's what I'm looking forward to in Bishop, as well as a hot meal, a warm bed, and not sleeping on snow. I tried my brother's recommendation, put the clothes cell foam on top, and that definitely helped. But it's still ever so slightly chilly. I wouldn't say cold, but it, you know, it's not warm underneath me sleeping when we're on snowpack. So last night was on dry ground again, which was really nice after a couple of days of snow. I think tonight should be as well. We're gonna be sleeping at about 9,600 elevation, and that seems to be about where the snow line is and where you can at least find tree wells and stuff like that. So in case you don't know, I've talked about tree wells and stuff like that a little bit. Rocks, trees, anything like that gets warmed up from the sun, and the snow melts around it first. So you'll start to see dry patches there before you actually see, you know, no snow overall. So that's what we've been doing, scouting out some big tree wells to sleep in, and that's been working so far. So we'll see. I'm actually also going to make one other gear change in Bishop, planning on swapping out the tarpon bivvy. I love the tarpon bivvy, but the biggest thing that I like about it is that when I'm in the bivvy, I pretty much feel like I'm just sleeping under the stars, because I've got mesh right in front of me. But out here in the Sierras, if you set up a tarp or have something, tree cover, anything like that, even if there's not going to be precipitation, you want to set that up, because that's going to help reduce condensation and dew and frost, you know, all of those things. Just the way the thermal dynamics work and the condensation, if you have something over the top, it's going to mostly collect on that. So the problem with the tarpon bivvy is the tarp takes a bit to set up. It's a little finicky. I'm kind of tired of setting it up every night. So I think I'm going to switch to a tent, give that a go. The bivvy will just be sent back to Tim, so I can always swap back later on if I decide I want to. But I think at least right now, for the rest of the Sierras, I'm gonna be a tent kind of guy. So this one has been entirely too long. I've droned on quite a bit, but one last look at the scenery, and there we go. Until next time.